Thanks for joining us again. Gibbo,
I'm back.
monumentous return. We could not do this without you. Rambo 3.
We did leave the weapon without me.
Close off the series. And then we are going to talk it through in terms of rankings at the end, correct?
Yeah.
I was just ask, did you just say monumentous?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
I was going to let it slide. It's a great word.
I was going to say, yeah, I thought monumental, but I like
monumental.
Monumental return. Whatever.
No, stick with monumentous.
Monumentous.
It's better.
Yeah, describes me better.
We will go straight into a little bit of your... Because we haven't heard from you in quite some time.
It's a long time.
Let's talk about some stuff that you liked, you've watched, and some shit that you didn't like.
Right, well, I've got to... Yeah, I didn't remember everything. I've just written it all down completely. First thing, Top Gun Maverick.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean...
How are you on that?
Mate, I've watched it lots of times. I watched it on the plane to Canada. I watched it on the plane back from Canada. They were the 5th and 6th times I've seen it.
Holy shit. So you give it a
I've put
run.
it in. I'm a big fan.
Oh,
It's one of the best sequels ever created. It's right up there with Terminator 2 and all that sort of shit. I was so impressed with that. The whole thing was pretty much perfect.
I mean, it's fucking rousing from start to
The whole thing.
start to finish.
The nods to the original are so tastefully
1 minute
done.
you think Tom Cruise is a fucking Scientology peddling dildo, then you watch Maverick and you're like, I fucking love the man.
I want to be mates with
Let's
this
line up.
Yeah. It was an all-timer. It was so good.
I really liked it. I think
Very,
they did a
very happy with that
fantastic
one. Other than that, The Bear. I watched the series The Bear.
job. Oh, yeah.
It's awesome. It's really, really good about food and stuff like that. But it's got one of the main guys from Shameless in it. He's really good. So that was awesome. Prey,
Oh, yeah.
Predator
What
stuff.
was your take on that?
So good.
Yeah.
The director has so much talent. That's one of the prettiest movies you'll see anywhere. And the way they made it, like I was really nervous about how they're going to make it believable that anyone could compete with the Predator back in the 1700s, and they nailed it. Everything was believable. Yeah, it was awesome. Other good stuff. The Old Man. I don't know if you guys have seen that one.
No.
The Jeff Bridges series.
Oh, yeah. I've seen it advertised.
Watch it. It's really, really good as well. Similar to what we're talking about with the Liam Neeson stuff. It's like the retired Special Forces sort of operative guy. Yeah, but definitely check that one out.
Moving on to his job in Police Squad, I believe.
Is he in that? I obviously watched Dharma, just like everybody else.
What'd you take on that?
It turns out he was a bit of a sicko.
Yeah.
Just a little.
It's honestly really well done. The guy that plays him just nails him. When you watch his actual real interviews in real life, he just spot on. The mannerisms,
The cadence of his voice.
everything. Yeah, he did such a good job. It's obviously a tough watch because of the subject matter, but
Would you like to live next door to the bloke?
I
I don't know about you, but I'm going, that smells like dead flesh.
I like the smell of Mexican food, but I don't like the smell of dead people. It's not one of my list. So, yeah, that was no good. And then I was listening to one of the Bill Simmons movie podcasts, and he did a rewatchable on The Edge.
Oh, yeah.
The Anthony Hopkins and Alec Baldwin about the bear. So I rewatched that just because I'm a weirdo, and it's bloody still good. It's a good movie. Hard to recommend because it's from like the 90s, but
I don't think I
remember it being pretty good.
Didn't ya?
I might have to get on that.
It's got an early Elle Macpherson showing in it.
Yeah.
She plays Anthony's missus in it, and
That's believable.
he's very rich, so he's
Very believable, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of part of the story, but anyway, that's probably most of. And then I watched the Redeem Team doco as well. About
what would that like?
It's not bad. It's a lot of propaganda, a lot of that sort of drumming stuff up, and we knew we were going to have to win this game, so we won. And it's like, no shit.
Look, it screams to me of, and they've always tried to do this, but the '92 Dream Team was legit. Like when you hear those stories and you see that shit, you're just like, yeah, unbelievable. And ever since then, they try to
recreate,
especially in the wake of The Last Dance.
Yeah,
it's like, oh yeah, what else can we do this for?
Yeah,
Redeem Team was good, no doubt, but I mean, it doesn't hold a fucking candle.
No, it was fine. It's a decent doco if you're interested in that subject matter. Get into it. Other stuff, The Grey Man. Watch that. That was not too bad. It's pretty standard, straight to streaming fare. But then it starts to sort of turn the other way.
Okay, this is where we're getting into some real shit here.
So on another movie I watched on the plane, Halloween Kills.
Oh, yeah.
And I've heard that Ends is worse.
Yeah.
Which I might never watch it.
Some people love Ends.
Really? Is it the same thing though? Because Kills is one of the worst things I've seen.
It's a huge left turn.
Yeah, it's a very big left turn.
And I think I really would have enjoyed
Halloween
Halloween Ends if it wasn't supposed to be the last I think Halloween Ends. I said to Adam on the podcast, I think Halloween Ends should have been Halloween Kills. Like they should have done that story in the middle.
Yeah.
Because it's completely different.
Look,
Right.
in my assessment is that I appreciate the fact that they're trying to go elsewhere because you can't just make. It's not the 1980s. You couldn't make 8 Friday the 13th that are exactly the same like they
That's
did back
why you
then.
send him to space. That's why
Exactly. But
Or New York.
I appreciate the fact that they took a swing,
Yeah.
but it's just way off.
Yeah.
Like, it's way off.
Ends or kills?
Ends.
Yeah, right.
Kill still at least had some of those moments where he comes out of the fire and cuts a swath and
That part was good at the start with the fireman.
Some of that stuff works out really well.
That stuff happened, and I'm like, this is going to be so cool.
But they then go in this take about mob justice.
Yeah.
And they don't sell that very well.
What was your take on Danny DeVito being mistaken for Michael Myers?
Well, him, but also the main guy that leads the mob, the guy with the crew cut, they're like,
Oh yeah,
you know,
Tommy Doyle.
he is brutally shit.
Yeah.
Like, just so poor. He cannot act to save his life and just flogs the same horse the whole way through.
Yeah.
No,
They just didn't get
angry.
it right. That could have worked better had they have put in some time, but it just felt like they...
Yeah.
I
Mob
keep hearing
justice is
this.
what we're about,
Yep.
but there was no shade to any of it.
Well, there's none of that. And then they didn't learn shit.
Yeah.
They did the
keep
mob
reading
justice thing and they
this,
kept doing the same thing anyway.
I keep reading this stuff about Halloween Ends is going to be, in 10 years' time, we're all going to look at it and say how great it is. I read an article that actually said that, and I'm like, no, I'm not. I much like you, I think the swing is great. I'm happy to see that stuff in the Halloween series, but it didn't work. Like it was poorly made, poorly written.
That's problematic.
Yeah.
Another one that I was really looking forward to and then watched it and was massively underwhelmed was Blonde.
Oh, the Marilyn Monroe
Yeah,
one.
I'm a huge Ana de Armas fan.
Yeah.
And I think she did an amazing job. Everyone can have a go at her about a bloody accent. Like,
Isn't it 3 hours
she's
long?
Cuban. It's but it's also just, it's so artsy and alternative, and unless that's your jam, I just don't know how. Like, it's almost unwatchable in spots. Obviously, the subject matter again is really rough. So yeah, I wouldn't recommend that one. But yeah, I'm still buying all her stock. I think the ballerina spin-off from John Wick's going to be unreal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's great.
She's awesome. Yeah, she in her thing in the James Bond movie was just awesome. It was one of the best parts of that movie. So, big fan of her. I watched Me Time.
Oh, God almighty.
Wow. It's like he needs to just go away. It's just done now.
Can I just say, much like his best mate,
Wahlberg.
No. Well, hasn't that been like massively like the viewer numbers are huge?
Yeah, they have, yeah.
God help us all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's no different.
And that's the only metric that it's being judged on.
It's no different.
Don't get me wrong, I watched the whole thing because I'm a sicko, but I was just like, this has to get better at some point. There has to be a turn.
But
and
it's no
it
different
never
to
does.
the Ryan Reynolds stuff, it's the Six Undergrounds. And
I would watch Six
Red
Underground
Notices.
20 times again before I would watch Me Time again.
I
It
didn't
is fucking terrible.
I didn't even know it was coming. It just suddenly popped up on there.
Yeah, and I should have known as soon as you have the wingsuit the situation at the start.
Oh, yeah.
I watched that. I'm like, oh my god, what am I in for?
I hate to kick him again, but I was referring to Dwayne.
Oh yeah, no, I know.
So
I was being facetious.
Just Red Notice and Me Time, just by the metric that they're being judged on, fucking phenomenal
Killing
hits.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get more of that.
Yeah, and
That's
also
the sad thing.
yeah, and
No
even
one
the
at
Black
Netflix
Adam
is going to
stuff.
go, eventually this is going to fucking wear thin because they're shit movies.
But we're making money. Yeah, no, it's bad. Love and Thunder didn't enjoy really.
No?
Yeah,
It had some bits,
it was
but
more of the same, right? But
well, it's too much of the same.
I have one question. Russell Crowe's accent.
It's super offensive. It's like he's
I thought
from
so
Acropolis
too.
now.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. I thought where we grew up in Australia, it sounds like he's gone.
It sounds like Con the Fruiterer.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah,
much.
It's problematic.
Good. Glad I'm not the only one.
No, he started doing it. I'm like, oh my god, this can't be
It
real.
is. It's pretty much Con the Fruiterer.
Along the same vein, the She-Hulk series.
Didn't work for you?
Nah, I mean it's fine, but God, they're having some misses lately. There's just I can't think. When's the last time they had a really good like knock it out of the park movie? What was the last good one?
Marvel.
Yeah. It's not Shang-Chi.
Well-
it's not Eternals.
Well, I guess Spider-Man, if you're considering that.
Spider-Man. Yeah, sorry. Yep. Yeah. No Way Home.
That was brilliant.
No Way Home was unreal. That's fair. Yeah, completely forgot about that
But
one.
Shang-Chi, Black
Eternals,
Widow,
all that stuff.
Eternals was awful. Black Widow was all right, but it's just it's more of the same.
Yeah.
I actually enjoyed She-Hulk. I think it got far better towards the end.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Anyway.
It's not everyone's cup of tea.
No. The fourth wall thing is just so repetitive and consistent, and I don't know, it just wasn't for me anyway. Multiverse of Madness, same thing. It's just a lot of noise, and I don't know, just losing a bit of interest. And then Rings of Power, I'm not always... Oh, sorry, no, I did finish that. It's fine. I really want to get to the Game of Thrones version.
Like what's that one? The House of the Dragon.
The House of the Dragon. I haven't got to that yet. But Rings of Power, I actually didn't mind it. It's fine. I probably should have put it in the first part of my list, honestly. I probably liked it more than all of that other stuff, as in the bad stuff. Yeah. It's fine. But yeah, that's probably most of the stuff I've got. There's obviously a lot more things, but that was all I could remember. It's been a while.
Really fine. That's good. Good little pricey.
Yeah,
what you've been watching.
Yeah, a little bit of everything.
All right, before we get into the film, we'll do a quick up or down. The trailer for Creed 3 debuted last week, I think, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Directed by Michael B. Jordan, starring Michael B. Jordan. I was way up.
Yeah,
I think it looks fantastic. It'll be really interesting to see how things go without Rocky.
Yeah.
Rocky now gone.
Yeah.
Which Creed 2 set, like, we knew he wasn't coming back, and it made sense for him not to come back.
I really thought in Creed 2 they might have killed him off.
Yeah, I actually think
when
that
he came back
better.
from the cancer thing, like, yeah, you needed some closure. I'm like, what's he just walks off, or
he's obviously made of stone. But I love the fact that they didn't bring him back. This one hasn't brought him back.
Yep.
And I think I really like that it's tied back to, in the first Creed, we found that he came up, through difficult circumstances as a kid and all that sort of stuff.
Yep.
And this ties back to that with his nemesis in the ring.
Yep.
And I think that's the best way to go. This is the best. It does have smell. It did smell a little of Rocky 3.
Rocky 3 mixed with Rocky 5.
He's been dominating. He's been whipping blokes left and right.
Yeah.
And
it's like 3 and 5 sandwiched together.
Yeah.
Some of the takes on the internet weren't as favourable. I think it's got a lot of potential for sure. I don't know that Michael B. Jordan's going to have the same flair as the director of the first two. I think he's got like a real style to it.
That's the question mark, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, he hasn't directed anything, I don't think, has he?
No, I don't think so, unless he's done like a couple of TV things or something here and there, but it's a big swing for your first thing. But everyone when I sort of saw the trailer, I was looking at the comments and stuff, and everyone's just blowing up that it's just a rip-off of 5 or a rip-off of 3. I don't know about that, but then also the nemesis, as you put it, his motivation, I don't know how justified it is unless there's more to it than what they sort of described. Like, you were a bit older, so you went to juvie, and then this guy's had success, and it's somehow his fault that you didn't. Like, if that's the whole thing, it's going to be a bit of a tough sell. But
surely it's going to be one of the whole Creed did something and he took the rap for it.
I'm assuming it's something like that.
Here's my hope. They managed to put a bit of fucking nuance on Drago, so I'm hoping that they'll be able to do it here. But I'll tell you, my big up is Jonathan Majors is just a fucking incredible actor.
Yeah.
And so when I saw him, how cut he was and how good he looked in the ring, I was like, okay, you've got this and you've got one of the best actors going at the moment. Like, I don't know if you guys watched Loki, but the last episode that he showed up and he basically just talked for 15 minutes and
it was
just
engaging.
Sitting there like, this bloke's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And then I watched the Western that they made with...
is it The Harder They Fall?
Yep.
In a very short time, I've just come around to him being one of the fucking super talents in Hollywood at the moment. So
you're right about the cut thing too, because at the end of Loki, like, he's just wearing clothes. Like, you're just like, this guy's obviously just a talker. He's going to be like a really mental sort of adversary for everybody.
Yeah.
He's an absolute unit.
I know.
Like you said, like the Mr. T thing's definitely there.
Yeah. I can see why people were saying 3, because he looked like Clubber Lang.
Yeah.
Like, initially when I saw him, I'm like, is he supposed to be related to Clubber Lang?
Yeah.
That's what it looks like.
That would be the obvious way for him to go to.
Yeah,
I'm glad they didn't do that.
Go back to something else.
Yeah.
And they'd already done that in 2, and I think successfully.
Yeah.
They did
it's
with
the
Drago.
classic stuff. It's the classic takes. Just a simple kind of story to get a nemesis together. But I think they've got the runs on the board, and with an actor like that opposite another very good actor in Michael B. Jordan. I'm kind of like, I'm really
excited. I'm
excited
excited for it because 1 and 2 didn't let me down. 1 was absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
2 was good. I really enjoyed 2, but it wasn't at that level. And again, I remember talking about it back at the time and saying it missed Ryan Coogler. It actually did miss him.
Well, again, he's just his flair, the shots and stuff that he managed to nail in the first one.
He was just fantastic for the original.
Yeah. It was I felt it was a touch below, but it hit some of the same sort of beats that something like Maverick did really well.
Yes.
In that it took Drago and kind of made him more than he was.
Yes.
And
humanised him more.
And Dolph Lundgren knocked it out of the park.
He was good. He was really good in that.
Yeah.
What can you expect? You know?
He cops a lot of shit, but when you put him in the right role, he's very handy.
Yeah. Stallone's ex-missus too, coming in with a lot of facial expressions.
Yeah. I thought that was a bit weird.
She looked like a mannequin with a wig on.
It did not.
She did not move. She just walks in and she's like, I'm just stuck here.
It did
This
not
is all I got,
add
guys.
anything. I felt like it's kind of like,
Well, it was only supposed to be about the father-son dynamic and how they share about, but like
Well, I don't know if
she
there was
gave
some-
him nothing.
Yeah, was there some cut scenes or something
I
that
don't
might have
know.
involved her?
I don't think so. I think it was just, that's
If there was, it's the same expression.
yeah. They're like, oh, we could have got Freddy Krueger and brought him in instead.
Oh,
Put a blonde wig on and away we go.
Yeah, but I'm definitely up.
Yeah.
I think I'll be definitely big for it.
Mate, I'll be there
We go.
opening day. We should, we'll do a watch party,
And,
boys.
yes, the last one is a little bit of news, Jared. Friday the 13th prequel series called Crystal Lake has just been put forward.
Yeah.
I believe there was initially some skepticism because they didn't have access to the whole of the Friday the 13th
Well,
series.
that's what everyone assumed because it was Victor Miller involved.
But I believe they have it.
They've got everything. Brian Fuller, I read an interview with Brian Fuller. So we've got Brian Fuller, which is super exciting because Hannibal is incredible. And then we've got A24, which is a reasonable mark of quality at the moment.
Yep.
And Brian Fuller said they've painstakingly pieced together a deal to get everything together. I think he mentioned that if it had been a movie, it would have been harder because New Line is still involved, but because it's TV, that complication was sort of removed somewhat.
It'll be interesting to see what they do with it.
Yeah, I was going to say, what platforms are going to go to as well? Is it Netflix or is it Amazon or?
Not sure yet. I think they did mention where it was intended, but not quite sure. But the funny thing was, he actually mentioned that it wasn't Sean Cunningham that was really overseeing things. He said it was the other guy that's the exec producer with Victor Miller, Peter. Can't remember his last name. Peter starts with an S. Peter S.
Peter S.
said he's the heavy hitter at Horror Inc. and that he was in charge of cutting the deal.
Look, let's be honest. Let's be honest, Jared. Somebody told Sean there was money to be made. We haven't done anything in the Friday the 13th space for a long time. We've been fucking around.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It was the other guy.
Yeah, I know. But maybe Cunningham took a step back because
good.
Yeah, get out of the way.
Everyone's been shitting all over him and saying you've been nothing but a fucking pest.
But I'm going to say, like, if it's anything of the level, and even if it's not quite of the level, if it's about 3/4 of the level of Hannibal, it's probably going to be the best
thing
quality
from
thing that's been put out in the whole series.
Yeah, it'll go straight to the top.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to see where they go with it. But obviously, I'm assuming there's going to be Pamela, and we don't know whether it's Elias Voorhees because that's still just something that was in a script that wasn't used. But obviously, I would imagine that they're going to bring that sort of stuff in. But he also mentioned that we may see a number of. Well, he hinted. Someone said the interviewer asked. Obviously, we'll see a young Jason, and he kind of hinted that you might see more than that.
Yeah, so maybe it jumps around.
Yeah,
but look, we haven't had anything since 2009.
Oh fuck! I mean, you could have told me Uwe Boll was making the new Friday the 13th, and I would have been excited.
I mean, I sat through the first 9 pictures, and I wish I had. Fucking hell! Jason Goes to Hell was hard.
Yeah,
it was hard. Watching that, I was just thinking, oh my god, like what was this? And I watched the uncut version thinking, it might be a bit better.
Hot dogs through donuts and shit.
Yeah, hot dogs through donuts and shaving that guy.
Yeah.
Tying him down and shaving his mustache.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Come on. But look, I'm interested and I'm happy that they're at least doing something. Because it's been in court for far too long. It's time to actually do something.
Well, it's been held up like that, and then they've attached quality that, quite frankly, has never been attached to the series since Kevin Bacon left.
Yeah. All right. Let's take a break. Here's the trailer for 1988's Rambo III.
This mission's important, John. I want you to come with me to help me lead the team. What do you say, John?
I put in my time. What's that mean? It means my war's over. He never draws first blood. He only fights back. The first time was for himself. The second time was for his country. This time,
Rambo, something went wrong.
it's for his friend.
Trumpman was a good man, and I'm really very sorry.
You're just leaving him?
What do you expect us to do? Send in a Delta team? Create an international incident?
What about me?
By the way you look, I can see you have no experience in war, do you?
Fired a few shots.
That if you're captured, we'll deny any participation or even knowledge of your existence.
Sounds familiar.
Who is this John Rambo?
You'll find out.
I know he's your friend. But you cannot do this. You both will die. For what?
Because you do it for me.
What do you think this man is?
God! Oh, God would have mercy. He wants.
Who are you?
The worst nightmare.
Stallone. Rambo 3.
I'm sorry I got you into this, John.
No, you're not.
Rambo 3, 1988, directed by Peter McDonald, who directed The Never-Ending Story 3. It's produced by Buzz Fightchance. That's not an alias, is it?
No, we don't think so.
I believe
First
he
rule of
produ-
fight chance is we don't talk about fight chance.
Yes, Scotty.
Fightchance produced Red Dawn.
Ooh, good.
So you know he's good.
Written by Sylvester Stallone and Sheldon Lettich, who wrote Bloodsport. And then got shackled, I believe, for the rest of his life. And based on characters created by David Morrell. It stars Sylvester Stallone as Rambo, Richard Crenna as Troutman, and Kurtwood Smith as Griggs. Budget was $63 million, and the box office was $189 million worldwide.
Most expensive movie made up
At
until
that
that point.
time, yeah.
Which is crazy when you think about
Correct. The original director was Russell Mulcahy of Highlander fame, and he was replaced after 2 weeks due to creative differences. Sylvester just got sick.
He was creative.
it now. Sylvester didn't agree.
Yeah, don't create anything, just fucking put the camera there.
I heard a story. It was to do with casting some Russians. He was sent to somewhere to find some extras as Russians, and they were all too good looking. So Sylvester said these guys all look like male models, and Rambo's not going to be intimidated by it. So you can go too, mate. Just punted him.
Shit.
It sounds believable.
It does sound
Yeah, it
believable,
does.
because Stallone was in the peak of his peacocking back then.
Oh yeah, yep.
He was peacocking around the place all over. I also believe that he asked for a Gulfstream jet
Right.
and got it.
G5, baby.
That's just what you need, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
yeah, good.
as my daughter said to me. He asked for it because he could.
Yeah.
He didn't want it. He just asked for it.
So Tom Cruise out of Tropic Thunder was his agent then, or
I mean,
G5, baby.
I don't know what Pan Pacific bullshit you got.
It's just testing the limits, you know, Stallone at the peak of his powers, just testing the limits.
Yeah.
Probably just fucking asked for it for a laugh, and here you go.
He probably demanded TiVo as well.
No, he said, here's the G5 jet, made a few chuckles, wandered off later, then came back and he
There's a jet park there. Oh, you fucking dickheads, I'll take it.
Jesus. All right, someone's got to take that, do they? All right, I will. All right, okay, Gibbo. Rambo 3.
I say this a lot about a lot of these movies you asked me to come back for. Formative film. One of the ones I had on recorded from TV VCR. As I mentioned to you boys, disgustingly, I'd cut the stick fighting scene off. I'd missed it when I recorded it. So every time I watched it, I came in on the roof of the monastery.
Talk about not knowing what Rambo's fucking motivations.
Yeah. Well, I had seen it prior, so I knew what it was about. But I was still, it was devastating.
I thought
to come
every
in
time
there.
you watched Hot Shots 2, you were thoroughly confused. Where's this from? I've never seen this shit before.
Not quite. But yeah, obviously not the best film, but as a child, big fan of this one. This one, Die Hard, Lethal Weapon, all of those sort of things. This was actually, out of all the Rambos, I watched this more than anything, more than one or two.
It's a bit like Rocky 4. Back in my formative years, Rocky 4 was the fucking shit.
Yeah.
But watching it again, I was like, what was I doing?
This is nonsense.
There's a fucking robot in this.
There's sexual undertones with Paulie. It's confusing. So anyway, love this one as a kid. And then as I got older, probably thought less and less and less of it. But as I said to Coxie earlier, on the rewatch, I actually enjoyed bits of it. There's some bits that are complete shit, but for a mindless blowing up shit and killing people movie, it's got plenty to offer. So I probably went to the 3.5 stars.
3.5?
Yeah, I don't mind this one.
Enjoyed.
Yeah, I mean, I love Rambo, don't get me wrong. So you put Rambo in something, I'm going to be pretty happy, other than the film that will not be named.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, 3 to 3.5. 3.5's probably been friendly, but I'm happy with it.
Solid.
Yeah.
Jared?
Yeah, pretty much the same in that I was shocked at how much I actually enjoyed it watching it this time around. Funnily enough, Rambo 3 was one that I didn't actually watch a lot.
No.
In the teenage years and that sort of thing. I didn't see it as much as the others. Rambo as a series, I'd kind of pushed back a little bit compared to the other ones. But yeah, last time I watched this, I was just like, holy shit. And then yesterday, chucked it on, fully expecting to be just kind of, taking a few notes and absolutely disgusted that I was made to watch it again. I actually enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun with it. I'm not gonna push to the 3.5 territory. I think I settled at 2.5, but I was the same as Gibbo. You could have pushed me to a 3 very comfortably at particular times. It's the peak of Rambo's kind of superhero-ness. He's completely lost the jaded by war kind of mentality from the first film. But the action sequences hold up.
He hasn't come full circle,
very
though.
good. Yeah, he hasn't quite got. I mean, he's rounding. He's
not his perm's breathing back. He's curling back around, so to speak.
He's taking the scenic round. He's not quite there yet.
I mean, he's picking up a goat and he's rounding a corner. He's on the way. But I had a lot more fun with it than I thought I was going to. I think the big downer for me is the villain. I think
the villain's non-existent.
Yeah,
basically.
he's just nowhere near as memorable as anyone else in the series, really, other than thou who shall not be named.
The two fucking dickheads who were in the last film.
But it I think it's just that period, right? Like, there's a bit of nostalgia attached to it. It's just got that 80s kind of over-the-top bullshit.
Yes.
That I kind of love. So,
and some over-the-top actors in it.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
Randy Rainey.
Oh, wow.
The arm wrestling menace.
Oh,
so I'm going 2.5.
I also went 2.5. I could have pushed to a 3. Because, again, like you guys, I was entertained. I'm not going to say that the action scenes were that good. They weren't. But there were so many of them. And so much shit was getting blown up.
Oh, yeah.
I got swept up in it.
Yeah.
I got swept up in Rambo.
Of course you did.
Swept up in it. The fact that we mentioned Russell Mulcahy was originally on board, it would have had probably a style to it. That McDonald's, obviously a really good camera operator and a second unit guy.
Can turn them on and off. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Push that over there, Peter.
DOP says
Right,
that is the
point it at me. Point it at me now. Blow that shit up.
But look, he's a purveyor of action junk, Jared. We talked about this before. But it's pretty entertaining action junk.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean,
Stallone
stand
is
this side by side with Red Notice.
Oh!
I wish fucking Peter McDonald had directed that.
Any day of the week, I would watch this 10 times. Stallone is cartoonish and over the top. Troutman gets kind of shafted a little bit, which is disappointing. we played polo with the sheep for reasons I can't work out.
It was probably a goat.
A goat, whatever the fuck it was, something.
I said goat, but it might have been a sheep.
Who knows? I mean, I couldn't tell.
I was only going off the first. When Stallone picks it up, I think it's sheep. When it's earlier on, I think it's a goat.
A goat, okay.
Yeah.
I thought when
Stallone
picked it up, it was a fucking bath mat.
It was a rolled bath mat with a belt around it, yeah.
But put it this way, I thought it was going to be a piece of crap. Absolute piece of crap.
Yeah.
And I was pleasantly surprised that I enjoyed myself.
Same.
Yeah. So, straight up, one of the interesting things for me, and it's hard to say this is a like, but it's kind of, it intrigues me a lot. The plot, although absolute nonsense, it looks so much different now than it did then.
Yeah.
Like, looking at it politically now, fuck, it doesn't look good. Rambo could have been hanging out with Al Qaeda.
Yeah.
Is that not what this would have been?
Yeah.
Yeah, well...
The Taliban. Yeah.
Yes and no. I think there's kind of some...
There's some overtones. If you're looking closer at it,
you know,
shit, it could be.
There's depths to it that I'm not known to plumb.
And I'm not going to plumb them here because, quite frankly, I don't think we know the political landscape well
I think
enough.
there is kind of sections to it, but
it kind of adds an interest to it.
Yeah.
Like looking at it again,
Yeah.
from that perspective of having, almost 30 years or whatever, that we've moved past it, and the landscape has changed, and that it's set in it is Afghanistan.
Yeah.
And it ends with a
Yeah,
fight at the end.
the gallant
where I was
people
like,
of Afghanistan, yeah. So he basically stops the Cold War in Rocky IV and then starts the war with Afghanistan in Rambo 3. He's dipping his toe in all the waters.
Speech in this one.
Yeah.
I know. If you could change. Jesus, Sylvester. But I think it's just really interesting to look at it that way. And I think it added an extra layer of giggles.
Well, when I was watching, I had this conversation with my wife as we were watching it, and she said, well, that famous saying, one man's freedom fighter is another man's terrorist. There's always two sides to the story. I'm not saying anyone's right or wrong in this one, but it's always about your perspective, isn't it?
Correct.
Like, all these people,
Look,
these
it's fair to say Sylvester hasn't fully investigated both sides of the story. But yeah, you're right. It is all about
Sylvester was under the impression there was only one side to the story.
perspective, right? Yeah.
Generally, the Russians are bad, as far as he knows.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
And I totally agree with what she's saying. That you look at it from different angles, and it comes with a little bit more than your generic kind of action picture that this
few
was.
more giggles.
No, but you know what I mean. Like, it just had me. I was very much intrigued by the whole. Especially with when Kurtwood Smith's there, as this kind of shady American CIA type of figure, which I believe they actually did also use in 2. Is that not correct?
Yeah, well,
Napier?
it's
kind of similar.
Yeah, but he was much more dastardly.
Definitely
talk.
I figured that Kurtwood Smith was going to sort of be the same and sort of stitch him up in some way, but it never really happens.
Never really occurs.
No, he's just the messenger boy.
I was surprised because Kurtwood Smith is a fantastic actor, so I'm like. I was surprised that he never returns.
No, that's it. Yeah.
So, I was happy to see him because...
Yeah, absolutely.
Look, for all Stallone's kind of over-the-top kind of, Rambo-isms that he pulls out, he still, he still knows how to play the role. Him and Troutman are always good together. Like, there is a chemistry between those two that works. And then Kurtwood Smith's a good addition because he was right in the guts of his smarmy RoboCop.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Clarence Body.
And also... Kurtwood Smith is bald and ugly, so Sylvester's happy to have him around.
Russell Mulcahy.
Put him in shots with me.
Russell Mulcahy wanted to die Denzel Washington.
You're out, dickhead.
Like, no, mate, now you got to go.
20 blonde good-looking extras, and this bloke, you're out. Gone.
See you later, Russell.
I love that, again, this is stupid, but we get Rambo setting up for the stick fighting.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to tighten your headband so hard that you get a flex in. Don't worry about your skull.
It gave me a headache looking at it. I'm like, that is not elastic. That is a solid ribbon. He's just cut off the circulation to his hairline.
I've accidentally scalped myself.
But you know what? My fucking lats were looking great on camera there. Yeah. Oh, I'm just like Sylvester. Take it easy,
I love he's got to wrap his hands in calico too, so he doesn't get a blister from the sticks. I was waiting for him to dip his knuckles in glass.
Yeah,
and around it.
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
is this what movie we're watching
That
again?
was, what was that in?
Bloodsport. Oh no, not Bloodsport. Kickboxer.
Kickboxer. Great
Not
movie.
to be confused with Bloodsport.
No,
Very different film.
different film, different quality
different
of film too.
But yeah, I had that down as one of the things though. The intro and the prep, the montage for his fight. And it's literally that fight. It's literally just a Rocky fight with sticks.
Yeah,
he
yeah,
gets
yeah.
his ass handed to him for 90% of the fight, and then just decides to punch harder than the other bloke for some reason.
And then I love the fact that he's also a good bloke.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Like,
how long is that pause?
Yeah, I know.
That goes for like 20 seconds. He's just staring at the bloke on the ground.
Clearly, you're not going to hit me.
Yeah, I might should just hit him in the shins. Like,
Yeah, it'd be interesting if you rocked up and you tried from the get go, Sylvester.
yeah, a lot of the Rocky moves would be shorter. You just trained properly the first time.
Exactly.
I thought it was going to be super cheesy, that stick fight. Like, I thought I was just going to be going, oh, here we go. But it was kind of a badass way to kind of bring Rambo in.
Yeah.
Like, it's just it was a good way to sort of have him in there.
Yeah.
But once again, you know, I do have questions about Rambo. This guy is scarred by the Vietnam War. Scarred.
Yeah.
Yet he's a lovely bloke.
Yeah, that's right.
After kicking the shit out of you.
I know. He's bashed your skull in and then he's gone, I'll help you out.
Yeah.
And when was it that he learned
Stick fighting.
Well, the martial arts aspect. Because that was never involved, right?
Mate, he whips off a beautiful roundhouse kick later on Randy Rainey, so he's clearly got it in there. He's never done martial arts up to this point, though.
No.
So
I was actually...
He's in Thailand. Maybe he's done some studies at the monastery.
Again, going back to Hot Shots, I was just waiting for the section where the referee's head was going to get kicked.
Two different directions.
That is one
The dislocated neck.
That's one of the all-time great gags in a spoon film.
It is hard to separate them sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah, they're very close.
Yeah.
The thing about all that too is I just love the way they always talk. They're talking to him on the way out. So yeah, how'd you end up here? Oh, you know, I do a little bit of repair work.
For the monks, and they let me live here. They just dragged me in like a stray cat.
If anyone else was
What
up on
about the
that
stick
roof,
fighting? He says to him, I just do that for some extra cash.
if anyone else was up on that roof and saw what you were doing, you'd have been fucking out on
Kicked
your
out.
ass.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
That's 100 years old. What are you doing?
Fucking Keith from the block would have you out. Like, he'd be like, this shit is not acceptable. Yeah, and watching him hammer that stuff in, Sylvester, stick to acting. Because your performance
Yeah,
with
you know
hammer
Craftsman.
is- Absolutely terrible.
In very short order here, we had a few good one-liners and kind of hero qualifiers.
Yeah.
The first one, which I almost laughed out loud, is when he's talking to Kurtwood Smith, and he's like, there's nothing we can do, I thought I should just let you know. And he starts walking around, he goes, what about me? It's like, oh, fuck off, mate.
Like, yeah. Well, we asked you 2 weeks ago. And
Yeah,
you fuck off.
Yeah, it was just too hard for you.
Troutman's fucking gutted. He's gone, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, for all we know, they've scun him alive, and now you want to go in, champ. No
Yeah, they
worries.
seem to be playing some sort of game with his corpse where they have to jump on a horse.
They've got him wearing a rug.
Yeah, we did a flyover, and unfortunately, I think he's fucking dead, mate. They were dragging him around amongst some more.
Drop him in a circle for points.
Shit.
Well, he's having a shit time, but they seem to be enjoying themselves.
You want to go lone wolf now? Come over and save everybody.
Yeah. So what else do we have for him?
The other one that I really liked, and obviously the Musagani, the guy that he hooks up with when he gets to Afghanistan, I think their interplay is really cool because the guy's like taking the piss out of him, and then he's like, I'm no tourist. And I'm like, oh, fuck. This guy's like, okay, no worries, mate, just relax. I love that one too.
Yeah. No, my personal favourite of those two is, unfortunately, it was in my dislikes because I did laugh, but he's like, he talks about a prayer.
Oh, yeah.
And then he goes, you know what that means?
Yeah.
And Rambo goes, you guys don't take any shit.
Yeah, something like this.
You can be better than that, can't you?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
that's
something like this.
where Rambo is so
Lacking.
completely removed from the first movie, but
Yeah.
there's a couple of moments where it does actually work.
Well, I've got a little
fun
bit of
action
controversy about how I feel about Rambo in this not controversy, but you know, like
Careful, mate, I'm right here.
no, but like looking at him as a character
Yeah.
in comparison to First Blood.
Yeah.
Like, and I really,
You can't-
I
you
kind of
can't.
don't like what they've done to him.
Obviously not.
somewhat.
No, First Blood needs to be its own thing.
That's
Just
not
leave it alone.
controversial. Fuck, everyone hates Rambo.
Do they? Everyone loves Rambo.
We seem to have come around, but everyone else seems to hate
we love
Rambo
him.
3. That sort of shit is what you never get in part 1 and 2 and part 4. But it is welcome on a couple of occasions.
Yeah, it is. And there is a couple of moments of humour. They kind of
Yeah.
almost work. It's a black humour type of
So
thing.
it's kind of like a bit of a catch-22 because you enjoy it, but then when you look back to the first one, you're like, well, that's part of the reason why this one doesn't work as well.
Yeah.
I kind of do like, and just slightly backtracking, that Rambo tells Troutman, look, I can't do this.
Yeah.
It has to end sometime.
Yeah.
Like,
Troutman's actually not a very good friend on that.
Yeah, I know.
It's
No.
yeah,
Come on,
just
Johnny.
push it to the side because I want you to come.
come on, Johnny.
But Troutman's kind of like,
I need you.
he's telling him, you're only halfway around the circle. If you keep coming back, we'll work you all the way around.
Mate,
Then
let
you'll
me-
feel fucking fantastic. You can bang as many roos as you want. You'll be fucking happy
Let
as
me
Larry.
tell you
Dig some
something.
tunnels.
We won't. It'll be all business. We'll play some fucking games over there. Like we're
throw a
in
goat.
Afghanistan. We'll have goats and shit. We'll play
Yeah.
whatever that is. We'll have a good time, Johnny.
Dig for
Yeah.
landmines.
But you're right. He kind of hangs Rambo out to dry all the time.
yeah.
Yeah, but he knows what Rambo is. What else are you useful for?
Yeah.
I mean, you're not doing a good job on the roof, so come and help us out.
Listen, mate, you're not a full person. You're a killing machine. You're nothing else.
You know, he spoke to the monks. Troutman spoke to the monks previously. They said, "Listen, take this bit
Yeah.
off our hands, will you?
Yeah.
We
Tell
can't
him
get
there's
him
a
to
fucking
leave.
war somewhere."
He weighs 3 times as much as any one of us. We can't kick him out.
Yeah, they're the ones that called Troutman. Get him off our fucking roof.
He keeps hitting the
For God's
tin. We
sake.
don't know why. It's not even supposed to be up there. It's supposed to be
He's
for
a
the steps.
fucking vagrant. He's come full circle. He's
Yeah,
back
that's
to
right. Well,
Rambo.
now that we've been talking about this, we know that Sylvester's going to come back and we're going to get Rambo full circle in the next 2 to 3 years.
If he calls it full circle, I'll actually fly to America and kill him. I won't let it happen, I promise you. It's not going to happen.
No, I'll fucking piss and moan about shit it is, and then the teaser trailer will come out. I'll be super excited.
No, you won't.
I'll be ready.
No,
I'll be pumped.
you've got limits, mate.
Because I must admit, I do actually like the fact that he does say no. You know, I know
As temporary as it is.
temporary as it is,
For
it's
5
5 minutes.
minutes.
But I did like the idea.
Then he
of-
remembers, oh yeah, I know what I am.
Oh, that's right. He's up on the roof banging.
He looks at it, he's like, this is shit, I gotta go.
Yeah, sorry guys.
I mean, if this was a person, I'm doing exactly what I'm good at. But it's a roof, and I fucked it right up.
And yeah, the fucking monks are going, but what about the stick fighting? Doesn't that keep you entertained?
Yeah, that's our main source of income, you bastard. That's the only reason you're here.
That's how we keep paying for those bits of copper for you to eat on the roof.
We have gone through a shitload of copper, you useless motherfucker. The missiles are located close. In your ass.
That was my next like.
Classic.
It is so good.
I mean, Troutman's got some great lines in the series, but that might be the best one.
It is the best one.
It's the way he does it too. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll tell you.
And then he leans in.
In your ass.
So good.
And then, of course, they fucking dangling back
Yeah.
up the poor person. The break into the compound where he does it on the stealth
Yep.
to get Troutman and Co out.
Mm-hmm.
Really well done.
Yep.
Like, really well done.
Until the stupid kid shows up.
Yeah, fucking, you fucking bastard. Just head back.
Go home.
Head
I
back
told
home.
you.
Yeah. Yeah, so in that same entry that you're talking to into that fort, I love the bit at the start when he's digging for the landmines, and you're just crawling along behind him, just trusting him. The guy misses like meters at a time. How he didn't get blown up, I'll never understand. And then the next bit is when old mate's going under the tripwire, and he's like, "Hang on, just let me stick my ass up here for a minute," and tries to blow them all up. It was only like Rambo turns around and catches it.
Yeah, catches the thing.
Absolute lifesaver. But what did old mate not know about the tripwire?
I don't know. He looks like he's fucking
Yeah.
lost.
Yeah.
But secondly, Rambo's fucking built like a brick shithouse, and he
Stealthily
snakes his
gets
way under it.
Yeah, just jiggles a little bit under he gets.
The other bloke fucking... he basically sticks his bum up and starts fucking
He
wandering
looks like
through.
he's doing the worm.
Yeah.
He gets, he's low, but then, as you said, he
His
sticks
ass
his
comes
ass
up. He's like, look, maybe my jacket should catch on this too. Oh, what about my hat? Yeah, I'd love that save. It's really, really slick. Just until the kid comes in and fucks everything.
But I do like that sequence. Yeah, it's really well handled. Which stealth is not usually his friend, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
They do it really well. There's that sequence where the two guys come past and he's up in the rafters.
Yep.
I think that stuff's really well done.
That one was good. The tank hitchhike though out as well.
Yeah.
Not that surreptitious. It shows a shot from above and in front of the tank, and he's clearly just dragging along in front of it. I pissed myself at that bit.
Yeah. He's just holding this fucking thing going...
Yeah. He's like...
You can guarantee you someone's going, what's that noise?
Or the guy in the tower looks down and goes, there's a guy under the tank.
I think the person inside the tank is
Nearly
going,
would've heard
"Did you
him."
hear something?
Yeah. We just picked up some weight.
Cauterising the wound using gunpowder, fucking awesome.
All time.
I love it.
All time.
That's as badass as Rambo gets.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome.
I love the way it kind of, when he does it though, and he goes, and then you see it kind of blow out the front and the back.
It's a good effect.
Yeah, really good effect.
Yeah, I actually, again, my wife was there watching it. I said, you've got to stop whatever you're doing and watch this sequence of first aid. I said, this is how you should do things.
Yeah.
He knocks the top off the bullet and pours the gunpowder in, and she goes, that wouldn't work. And I'm like, shut up and just watch it.
It fucking would.
Yeah.
Of course it would.
So good.
I also like the fact
As soon
that
as you do that, you can get up, you can fucking climb a wall, you can...
It's fine.
part of your bowel's gone. You are shitting into a bag.
You're leaking shit out of a hole in your side.
It's like he thinks there's just a little tunnel through his muscle on the side, like there's no other organs in there to blow up. Fucking dickhead.
But yes,
Rambo.
perfectly suitable for an action film like this.
Oh, mate, as soon as it started, I remembered the sequence, and I said to Riley, you got to watch this. It'll blow your mind.
But you know what, though? This is not my last, second last, but the last half hour is just fucking over the top
Non-stop.
mayhem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as silly as it is, I was just like, fuck.
Take it along for the ride. Yeah.
I love this shit.
Yeah.
I felt like a 12-year-old kid again watching it,
Yeah.
you know? Like, it's just... There's something about it.
The peak of that, of course, is the taking out the chopper with the fucking bow and arrow with the explosive tip. That is fucking outstanding.
Well, that's good. He's got an awesome one-liner when he drops into the cave after they put that petrol bomb on top of the cave.
Yeah.
And he comes down the bottom and rolls across the trout. And Chummy goes, how are you? He goes, well done.
Rambo!
Yeah, Riley nearly spewed.
The Rambo that we've never ever seen before.
Yeah.
The Rambo with no shades of humour drops that one.
Yeah. I thought Arnold Schwarzenegger had dropped in out of nowhere and dropped that line. It was pretty
And
bad.
it's probably a part of all that.
Yeah, he's got to compete.
Commando and all that sort of shit was happening.
Yeah.
And he pulls out another one right near the end, which was my final where they destroy an entire army, which I thought was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Where he says, what do we do, Johnny? And he goes, surrounding them's out of the question or something like that. And I was kind of like, yeah, you know what? I get on with that.
That's the stuff with the kind of quiffy Rambo that we never ever get other than this movie that actually is pretty solid.
Yeah. And I love the fact it's just like, fuck it.
He goes, what do you want to do? And he goes, fuck him.
He starts going off. And coming back to what you said before, that helicopter explodes into nothing. It's obliterated by a bow and arrow with a fucking thing on the top.
Yeah.
I don't understand the concept of it.
This was
but
the
we don't
absolute
understand
peak.
how gunpowder cauterises his wounds.
Yes, we do.
Safely either. So
I can
we
believe
take it
that.
and we just go along with it.
I can't understand how the helicopter just fucking blew out of the sky. It was totally gone.
Yeah, there's no wreckage, no shrapnel. It just evaporated.
Okay, but there's that.
Yeah. Just prior to that, so I got two more things out of the
Here we
cave.
go.
The cave battle.
The cave battle. I love it.
When he sticks the glow stick on the arrow and shoots old mate to use him as bait, and then his mates turn around and shoot the guy because he's screaming with the glow stick hanging out his chest.
So good.
Pissed myself
Very cool,
laughing.
yeah.
And then when he kills Kurov by wrapping the rope around his neck and kicking him into the thing.
Yeah.
But he's also got a grenade on. He doesn't hang him. He hangs him and then he blows him up.
Blows him up. That was out.
So good.
Arnie, I know, Sly just fucking taking on.
Yeah.
Like, again,
Walk this off.
that shit is way over the top.
Yeah.
But I was
best.
just loving it.
Yeah.
The fact that we've got a fucking hand-to-hand blue on top of a bloody...
What was Troutman doing?
Just standing around with his fucking thumb up his ass.
When he gets to the top of the hole, he's like, I'm just going to sprint to the top of this hill.
Yeah, just fucking standing around while Rambo's taking on this massive...
Troutman's thinking of his next line. He's thinking of what else can I say to someone that's going to...
In your ass. I've already used that one.
Mind you, I can't believe you didn't mention, and I know it's fucking cheesy as, but again, delivery, I loved when the guy goes, who do you think this man is? God? And he's like, God would have mercy.
Yeah.
He won't.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yes.
Another hero qualifier.
If it had been in First Blood, I'd have been like, oh shit, that's the worst part of the movie.
Yeah.
But in this, love it.
Mate, if it had been in Hot Shots, you'd have gone, yep, that makes sense.
Because the cheese is sprinkled on top of this,
Oh, yeah.
mate, and it's fucking crispy.
Plenty
I
of
dug
cheese.
that
Melting.
shit. Oh, I was excited by that. Other likes
Mate,
here?
it has to be mentioned.
Here we go.
The final kill, okay? The helicopter versus the tank. Why didn't they just pull up?
Yeah,
Why are you playing chicken with a tank and a helicopter? Helicopters can fly.
yeah, correct. Get above him and fucking strafe the
You've got a number of ways to go. The tank doesn't. It's going
He's in
straight.
there by himself. He can't even operate the guns. They're literally just pointing forward. All you have to do is strafe to the side and shoot him.
Yeah.
Nah, we're going to manhood this. It reminded me at the start of Footloose when they're having the chicken with the tractors.
Yes.
Just turn.
Obviously, Rambo's fucking laces were stuck to stuck to the
Rambo
fucking
can't
reins.
dance like Kevin Bacon.
Oh, no.
But he kills the pilot, but the
no.
other bloke was clearly flying.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
pull up.
Yeah, just pull up.
Turn around, shoot him in the
Come
back
on,
of the tank.
Rambo. Look, strained some credibility, but again, excitement plus.
Also crashes into what, like a 70-ton helicopter, 50-ton helicopter. Just walks away from the tank, no problem. It's fine. Even though he's completely pulled the tank up with a Molotov that he threw off on foot.
He kind of wanders out of that wreckage, doesn't he? Like nothing happened.
Yeah. I cracked up when after that explosion. It shoots him on the floor, and it just looks like he's laying on a concrete floor in a warehouse somewhere with a bit of rigging behind him, and then he just pops up out of the manhole. It's like that wasn't the inside of a tank.
I was going to say that, we obviously missed the part inside the tank where he pulled out a couple more bullets and did a little bit of more
Oh,
medical
yeah.
work on
Medical,
himself
yeah.
before he jumped out.
He came up, he's got
30-degree burns.
fucking 3 colostomy bags. Everything's fucking leaking. His arsehole's obsolete now. It's coming out of every other hole.
That's right.
Anything else? What else
It's
we
just
got?
for looks now. I just show it in movies just for looks because it doesn't work.
Any other likes?
I don't know about if this is technically a like, but I did reference to the Molotov theory. But when he's on the horse and he rides past old mate in the Jeep and the guy just randomly hands him a Molotov, full sprint on the horse, and then he just starts yelling on the horse as he's like galloping, and then the horse just gets shot and he falls on the ground. Like, what was he doing? I don't understand, but I loved it.
think he thought it was
this is
another-
triumphant, and then the horse gets shot.
I think he thought it was another game that was going to steer him to the local.
I'm going to throw this Molotov in the circle.
It's the goal!
The top of the tank is my circle. But yeah, no, I don't have any other
Mate, not
likes.
everything's a fucking game, idiot.
Maybe he thought it was a cultural thing. He had to throw the Molotov in the tank. No, that's it for
Anything
me.
else from you? You loved every minute of it, didn't you? All right, the dislikes. Okay, as we've quickly pointed out, it's not controversial, but Rambo... I mean, I pine for the Rambo from First Blood. There's something interesting about that character.
I feel.
But in 2 and 3, especially, I think they kind of peel it back a little in 4.
Yeah.
Well, personal feeling is that there's a little bit there in 2. 2's a bit different if you don't have 1 as context.
Yeah.
But 3 is so far removed when you look at 1. It's like it's not even the same series. 2, at least, there's a couple of moments where you're like, yeah, it's the same character, but we've gotten over our issues quite quickly.
Well, he still has at least some flashbacks to his PTSD. Like, there's references to his PTSD.
Exactly.
In this one, he's just like, ha ha! Here I go.
PTS what?
Doesn't know how to spell.
Let's get on with it. Yeah, I feel like that he's not... They've taken the human out of him.
Yeah.
Yeah. he is basically Arnie.
The human was in his fat cells, and they're all gone too.
Correct, because he would have been. This would have been the 3% body fat period, wouldn't it?
Full diuretics on this one.
I mean, that guy
living on coffee and apples.
Fucking hell,
what I'm sitting there going, you seem to be struggling for a crust at the monastery. You got to get into stick fighting to make ends meet. But you fucking can't, like, you're on some sort of roids.
Yeah. A lot of protein and a lot of roids. A lot of HGH.
Not on HGH, you fucking...
More steroids.
Yeah. Just a lot of chicken breast.
And a lot of fucking steamed veggies.
Broccoli and rice. Yeah,
it's all legit. It's definitely.
It's a natural physique, all right? It's just how he is.
So if I'm lucky to eat one meal a day and I get up on a roof and bang some fucking tiles, I'll look like that.
One meal a day is 1.5 kilograms chicken breast with no skin.
That one meal a day is injected straight into your ass, basically.
Yeah, steroids are a meal. But yeah, I feel like every time I watch part one, I think of where Rambo could have gone, like what he could have been.
Yeah.
And I just feel like...
And you think it's never as good as it is now. It's never as good as right now.
And the worst part is they tried to bring that shit back in Last Blood. And they fucking not only crapped on the first film, they
I told you we weren't going to talk about that.
They crapped on part 3 somehow.
Crapped on the whole world.
So I was they kind of also try and bring the kid in as a little bit of an emotional kind of thing for him.
Yeah.
But then it's never really used appropriately.
Yeah.
And they don't even really connect.
Can I also say...
He's just a fly in the ointment. He doesn't add anything.
Can I also say, for a guy, the last time we saw him, who said he trusted no one and was correct, he fucking trusts everybody.
Yeah. Well, when you fucking work in a monastery on the roof of a monastery, mate, and you've, you know...
He's found enlightenment.
Stick fight, he's become a different man.
The funny thing is, if they had followed that thread just a little more, that would have made sense. That he would have been more trusting. He was fucking finding himself a little in a monastery, but instead, he's not in the monastery, he's on top of the fucking monastery.
Yeah, let's face it, you know he loves the fucking stick fighting more than the monastery stuff. You know it. You know he does not give a fucking shit about banging things upstairs.
I was hoping the kid would come and start asking him some questions and he'd be like, fuck off. I don't trust nobody.
Don't touch my fucking knife.
Give us a look at that, he says. Fuck you, I'll be hanging out of you in a minute.
No, you can't have my necklace. No. It was given to me by a very, very dear friend.
That I used for 10 minutes.
And I was going to bring back to America.
10 minutes of my life.
Only time I've had any human contact.
Rambo, I would have said to that kid, you want to fucking jump in my grave because it'll be coming soon.
Yeah.
You can get first, you little cunt.
I was hoping he was going to expand on that sort of stuff, and he's like, yeah, she talked to me real nice.
She was going to be my friend.
Yeah, well, the subtleties and the nuances of character development in the Rambo picture.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
They missed out. They should have had us on as consultants, honestly. We'd have solved all the problems.
Fuck yeah. Look, the action stuff, I loved every minute of it, but it's pretty pedestrian stuff. It's not directed with a lot of flair.
You know, I think the scale of it, because obviously it cost it cost a lot.
It would have been like 200 million these days.
The scale is huge. So there's particular sequences where the action is pedestrian, but then they show a shot of a whole fucking place, just
a whole village just going at once.
And they've got fucking proper planes and shit flying over and strafing the shit out of them.
Yeah. Again, Tropic Thunder. So Mother Nature just pissed her pants too.
There's a bit of spectacle to it.
They do, they do actually. When they blow something up,
you can see the money on screen.
Blow it up.
Yeah, for sure.
Pete McDonald, though, should have stuck with Russell Mulcahy.
Absolutely.
Okay, so he brought some extras from an AHA video.
Yeah.
Just fucking deal with it.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what Russell Mulcahy would have done with $60 million? Holy shit.
We need some fake lightning somewhere.
They would have said... he would have blown up the whole fucking area.
I mean, you look
no Afghanistan left.
You look at Razorback, you look at the Queen videos, The man knew how to spend his dollars. If he
like
had
that-
60 million of them,
It's
it would have
like
gone.
that sequence, just a slight side note, I was watching the movies that made us,
Yep.
and the RoboCop episode, and they're talking about the explosion at the petrol station. Fuck!
Yeah. Yeah. And he got
Blew the
shut
whole
down.
street up!
Yeah.
And he's like, the bloke's there going, yeah, it's probably a little bit too big for an urban explosion. Like,
Imagine you're just in bed.
you
You just
fucking
think
think. He said there was fucking windows broken 12 streets over. Paul Kay would have fucking woken up everyone in wherever they were shooting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, but McDonald's he's not someone with a certain flair for it.
No.
Like, cameras fucking sitting right
He's a
here.
tradesman.
He's definitely a tradesman. He's a Mark L. Lester, Craig Baxley type. He can blow it up good.
Well, I wish he was Craig Baxley. Fucking hell, again. $60 million in Craig Baxley. You wouldn't have seen anything but flames on the screen for 90 minutes.
Yeah, even in the quiet scenes, something's on fire nearby.
Troutman's just speaking quietly. Sorry.
I'll still take these explosions over anything that Michael Bay's ever produced.
Correct. You can at least see what's happening.
Someone needs to tell him that explosions don't have to have fireworks shooting out of them. That's not real.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it does mean every time.
Now, I've got a question. Why would you send a colonel who's clearly in his late 50s, and I believe in the first film told him, Johnny, I've been shining my seat with my ass.
Yeah.
Should have stayed there.
Yeah.
Because you're not sending
Keep
a
shining,
bloke.
mate.
You're sending Rambo.
Your
Like
fucking
that's
seat's not shiny enough yet. Keep on going.
Yeah, I don't know. There's no real explanation for why someone like
Rambo's
that
the
comes
guy
out.
you send in to do this. You don't send the
Especially-
fucking.
Especially when you see how he gets done in.
Driving with headlights on.
It doesn't seem like there's a lot of planning going on.
It's not
you took a
stealthy.
fucking you took a convoy straight into their fucking trap. By the looks of it.
And he goes, they were captured just over the border.
I mean, they were
So you
doing
just
everything.
got there.
Yeah.
So
They were
you
doing
just
everything
got
but singing the fucking song. Yeah. We got a great big there's a chopper in front of us. We're fucked, boys.
So I don't quite know why he's there. It really just to start the plot that Rambo come back. Because it was part 2 where they played the card of there's POWs and you can go in and take photos. I believe
Yeah.
what he was supposed to do.
What he was supposed to do.
Exactly
He took
Because they
more-
were never supposed to be there, and then he
took
found
more
them.
weapons than he took fucking photography gear.
Yeah, but then he dropped them straight out of the plane.
That's right.
Yeah, we bust you out of prison to take a couple of snapshots. That makes sense.
Remember, take a lot of film. It's just Troutman kind of gets sidelined. He's then kind of very sparingly used in a sense, except for near the end. There's a couple of times when he
saves him once.
Rambo's
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Once.
yeah, I mean, for him
The
to
one
have
time he
trained him,
fucking pulls the trigger.
I've never believed how Troutman's trained Rambo to be this killing machine.
Yeah.
Troutman looks like someone's dad. Like he's not.
Yeah.
He doesn't look like he's done anything in his
I
life.
trained him in how to do the paperwork,
Yeah.
but someone else trained him in how to
Yeah.
kill
It's
I
the
was
whole,
at the same base when the training happened.
it's the whole do as I say, not as I do.
Go do some chin-ups. You going to show us how? No.
No. yeah. He's like, I'm too old for that.
Yeah, you show the technique,
used-
but you don't actually get on the bar. You're like, this is what it looks like.
25 years ago, I've done this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I've
don't
done my
need to
time.
show you.
Just listen to what I say.
Yeah. Rambo's mullet.
Yeah, it's my number 4 on the dislike. It's
Ladylike.
Shocking.
It is effeminate at best.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's got no wings. Like looking at Gibson in Lethal Weapon, that thing could fly.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, he could have jumped off that building and then just gone.
someone had worked a little bit up the top and then kind of let it all out. Rambo's, there was no, and I mean, of course, you're not going to be. It's not being looked after where you're hanging out. So that's somewhat believable, but I mean, jeez, it doesn't even rate.
But it still
It's
looks
not on the
like
list.
something from a Soul Glow ad.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's like it's been over-maintained. I don't know. There's too much perm.
Oh, Rambo.
Yeah. It's a missed opportunity.
I mean, surely you can leave the monastery and travel into town. You have that thing sort of teased up a bit
Well, I'm
more.
sure right next door to the stick fights, there's a salon.
Well, I noticed as some chickens went flying past, I'm pretty sure I saw a salon there.
Yeah.
The chickens look well looked after, they're well maintained, so at least you could get a pet shampoo in there.
Unless that was a cockfighting place, I'm not sure.
But his mullet in 1 and 2 were passable. Like, they were classic 80s tough guy mullets.
Two especially.
Oh, yeah.
Number 3, though.
Yeah,
He's an abomination.
His 2 mullet is, he sits in there, he legitimately vies for a title.
Funnily enough, the mullet reflects the character. In number 1, not really looked after. He's been treated poorly.
Dishevelled mullet.
Dishevelled. Number 2, things are tightly maintained but still pretty good. Number 3, just over the top. Just
way over
outlandish.
So I did have that one. I also had... So there's a couple of casting issues in this movie. Maybe some miscasting, if we can put it that way.
Okay.
One, the Russian colonel's a French bloke. That's problematic.
Makes it clear a couple of times.
His Russian accent is reprehensible.
His Russian accent is French.
Yes.
Damn you, Russell Mulcahy. He picked him up.
So Mark de Jong, he's a French bloke.
Oh,
you couldn't find a Russian bloke to be the guy that says all the Russian lines?
Was there problems going under the Soviet Union at that stage?
I don't know, but surely there's someone that can
None
do
of them
Russian.
were broken through.
But this is the thing. There's complexities in real life. So even when there's things breaking out in Russia, there's Russian people in America.
Yeah.
You can cast.
I know.
in
But
this
Sylvester
movie.
couldn't find it, mate.
No, that's
He could, he just didn't want it to be good looking, so he stuck with this bloke.
Yeah, that's right.
And then, I mean, it's not as big of an issue because he doesn't speak, but the guy that plays Kurov is Randy Rainey, who's an American,
Yep.
famous from Over the Top, obviously.
Oh.
Double feature with Sylvester.
We need to watch
Bit
that.
of nepotism there.
We must
On that.
watch that.
So he's that, and then the guy that speaks up in the Afghani war council, he's Greek.
He's great.
Couldn't find another Afghani
Sylvester,
bloke.
I mean, you blamed Russell Mulcahy for some of the casting issues and you sacked him.
that bloke, you could tell just by looking at his mustache.
Yes.
He's Greek.
Looks like from Prince of Persia.
Yeah, he had rugs to sell.
But even his voice, he sounded nothing like a Middle Eastern
Oh
person.
man, come on, Sylvester, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
This is just
Lovely soothing voice, don't get me wrong.
Yeah. And I
Dulcet tones.
I mean,
Can you
can you imagine the ruckus these days that this would have caused? The amount of people who aren't cast as the actor.
Oh my god! It shut down the internet these days.
After we heard about what happened with Mulcahy, you know that Stallone went, De Jong's an ugly cunt.
And that was it.
He's a good bloke, but he's got a head like a busted ass. So he'll fit perfectly.
Perfectly suited to this this gig.
We get to the.
Why are we playing polo with the fucking?
Okay, that's my next one. So they're playing polo with a sheep or a goat or whatever it might be. It's some roadkill. Someone ran over it with their horse and cart and they killed a goat. And they're like, cool, we've got a ball for some sports. Let's go. But then when Sly picks his up, inexplicably, it turns into a perfectly round, clearly made out of foam with a rug on it and a belt. What happened? It's the worst bit of stunt work.
I also love the fact that, I couldn't work out the rules.
No.
Right? I don't speak Rambo does not
He
speak
said,
Afghani.
go around once, throw it in the circle, then they go to the next shot, and there's 3 fucking circles.
There was 3 circles.
Which circle?
Yeah, which one?
And was there a circle at both ends? I'm still unsure
Yeah.
because Rambo jumps on the horse and goes, just like football. I'm like, it's nothing like football, Sylvester. I'm fucking confused.
It's more like maybe knuckles or marbles. There's no football parallels.
You have one bloke that's interpreting for you who gave you nothing. So how the fuck do you know what's going on?
But the thing for me is, he clearly doesn't know the rules.
No, of course not.
He's clearly never played the game.
Yeah, that's why they punched him because they're like, you're breaking the rules.
But he clearly becomes the best player on the court.
As you do. Rambo, he can do anything.
He's got everything. Yep.
And as I said, the music fucking swells as he
When he
gets
picks it up
slow motion.
in slow mo. Yeah.
And it does the.
Which would be great if it was Top Gun on the beach and they're playing football and you can understand why the music's swelling, but I still didn't know what the fuck was going on.
Is he doing the right thing?
Yeah.
Has he picked it up wrong? I don't know.
Is he going the wrong direction?
I mean, if that's football, he's picked it up. That's all he's done. He hasn't scored yet. So
well, he doesn't score anyway because then the helicopters turn up and start
right.
fucking shit up.
That's right. I don't look, and John, you've got no time for games, mate. You're in fucking Afghanistan and bust out Troutman.
But all it is an opportunity for him to get some more grunts in.
Yeah.
There's some inexplicable grunts when he's riding the horse. He's whipping the horse, he's going, like, mate, you're just flipping the bridle over. You don't need to grunt at this. You're not getting punched in the stomach.
I mean, we missed a chance with Sylvester's, horse racing movie.
Oh, imagine that.
It would have just been 90 minutes of that.
Oh, that's
I believe
brutal.
he is quite a accomplished horseman.
Well, he's clearly doing his own stunts, which is good on you.
One thing I will say,
but I would like to know if he actually does that when he's riding a horse.
I guarantee he does.
Or if you think only Rambo does that.
I think that's just. I mean, every time there's any kind of contact with him, he's
it's to slides him. It's not a Rambo thing because he does it in Rocky. He does it in everything.
Yeah, he's fucking. I mean, he's walking down the street these days and he does it.
Oh, my knee! Oh, my hip!
I mean, shit. He would have been the worst to play fucking social basketball.
Oh my god!
Bad one.
Yeah. Shut the fuck up! Just shoot threes and stay out of the paint, for Christ's sake.
It's basically like the basketball scene in Cable Guy.
Yeah.
Putting his headband on, stretching up, sweating up, getting his calico
rules, is
frazzled.
it?
No blood, no foul.
Yeah, that's right. When he breaks Troutman out, this is why I love Peter McDonald and Sylvester Stallone, but he breaks Troutman out, and as he's breaking Troutman out, something goes wrong and the shooting starts, and a couple of dudes come running in from the outside through a doorway. Clearly there's nothing flammable there, but then boom, there's a fucking explosion behind it. I was just like, where'd that come from?
They hit that concrete wall made out of mud and earth, and it just exploded like napalm.
I was just like, I guess this was a Baxley effect. You blew everything up. Didn't matter, and no one questioned why there was a fucking explosion somewhere that had no right to be there.
Yeah.
What else we got?
In that sequence after the goat polo, when the helicopters are raining fire, did anyone notice Colonel Zyson's technique on the rockets in the gun? He looked like someone's dad with a TV remote. It's like, the harder I press this button, the harder the bullets will fly.
It doesn't fly any harder, Dick.
Every time he fired a rocket or something, he's like, oh. Next time you watch it, I was cracking myself up when I noticed. It's the first time I've seen that, but it's pretty.
It's
pretty
the over-the-top nature of the movie. That kind of shit is in everything. Like every frame is just cut from this idea that we must do it bigger and harder and fucking
It's like
longer
he thought he was
and
more
louder
evil if he pulled
blow
his face
everything
and
up. Blow everything
gesticulated.
up. And he's coming back to the villains. They are fucking horrendous. Like that.
Yeah.
They are just faceless. Like there is nothing to any of that.
No. Well, the main bad guy barely rates, but he also doesn't really have much of a chance to unless you're looking through the fucking the windscreen of a helicopter. But the sequences when he's talking to Troutman, you can start to sort of see something. Yeah. If maybe if it was a French bad guy, but
he is a French bad guy.
There's not much beyond that.
No.
And so, I mean, the actor doesn't get a whole lot of chance, but I also don't think, even with what he's given, he's that memorable. So.
No, and it wouldn't surprise me if there was a bit more shot that was then just cut out.
Yeah.
Because you're looking for
Quite
pacing,
possible.
you're trying to...
Because the last... I mean, we say the last half hour is just explosions, but there's the fucking... The initial break into the fort as well.
All
that cuts
explosions.
out of any chance to develop any of that even further, and then we get, couple of minutes in between where Troutman gets to drop the line about God. That's the only other time you see the bad guy, really.
Yeah.
So
Not much to it.
Yeah, he's a means to an end more than anything. He's not really
We
got
just
any
need a
substance.
figure. We need a bad figure.
We need a French guy being a Russian guy talking to an American guy.
Yeah.
You know what? This is my last dislike, but did you hear the fucking version of He Ain't Heavy at the end?
Yes.
Holy
Again, my wife's like,
Christ.
what is happening?
I know.
that?
Bill Medley.
Was it the same
Is it?
bloke that's saying...
Friday night, stick to that, mate.
Is it the same bloke?
Yeah.
Oh my
And he's
God.
trying to go kind of
Yeah, Soul.
Soulful, I'm just like, oh, Bill.
Yeah.
And initially I was like, no, it can't be him. Like, he was well known. And then I fast forwarded through the credits and I was like, oh shit, it is him.
Yeah, Roller's just cracking up even just the lyrics. She's like, what is happening at the end of this movie? It's nothing about the plot.
The 1980s, they fucking loved that shit, didn't they?
At least it wasn't a Frank Stallone bit.
I would have preferred it.
Would you? Yeah,
I would have preferred
Having
it.
rewatched 1 and 2, I'm not sure I would have, to be honest.
The nepotism went on holidays that day.
I know it's a great night for football, but I was thinking fucking Dirty Dancing.
Oh, yeah!
I hear him fucking strangling this fucking thing.
I've had the time. We needed more of that. That's more soulful.
Yeah,
This
exactly.
bullshit. I mean, the moment he starts singing, he's fucking warbling like an idiot.
Yeah, it's brutal, man. It's one of the worst closing credit songs I think I've heard.
Shit. Ill.
I heard the first couple of lines and I thought to myself, I know this song, but I thought I liked it.
Yeah. The other version's okay.
That's right.
Yeah, ruined it.
Yeah.
What else we got? Anything?
I referenced it a little bit earlier, but when they have the cave battle and Sly comes back up, Rambo comes back up, and Troutman's about 26 kilometres away, just waving at him on a. He's like, "Hey, Johnny,
Hey, Johnny.
when you're ready, I'm over here."
mate,
And then he's like, "Fuck, look out!" And then he slowly shambles back over with an AK as he's getting strangled to
Fucking
death
hell.
by a fucking giant.
You know what? If I'm Rambo, I'm shooting him.
Yeah.
You are fucking superfluous to requirements,
You
mate.
knew I was exposed down here, and you just like this. It's inexplicable that he just.
Why
bolted.
did I come to rescue you?
Yeah. I'll take the kid, and he's injured.
Yeah.
Like, I'll have him.
Yeah. At least he could give me a fucking heads up.
Correct.
And then only other issue I had, it happens twice, but it's pretty egregious. In the helicopter battle after the goat polo, which we've referenced a few times.
I love it.
And also in the final battle at the end, he just inexplicably gets hold of 50 cal machine guns, completely unmanned, and manages to just rain fire on people.
He does it also, yeah, that's right, directly after the
There's the one in the gun bay, and he shoots down the smaller of the two helicopters. And then at the end, there's one in the back of a blue ute, and he just runs over and starts fucking shit up.
It's like a video game.
Yeah.
So I can kill someone and then he's scrounging the
Ooh,
body.
gun bay.
You just cut that out, but he says, ooh, I got an epic weapon.
Let it just rain fire with this one for a while.
Okay, no.
So yeah, that was a bit of a tough sell, but
Very tough.
That's the last of my dislikes, though.
Jared?
So we mentioned the lighter Rambo and the times that it worked. I had one notable time that I thought it didn't. It was when he's like, Troutman gives him the, I'm sorry I got you into this, Johnny. And Rambo goes, no, you're not. And then I was like, that is just awful.
Yeah.
The writing, the fucking acting.
Say nothing. Sylvester, just walk off.
Just let that slide.
He does have a couple of similar ones to those earlier when he's doing the whole I'm used to it bit.
Yeah.
Because they say, like, oh, we're not going to acknowledge your existence or we're going to deny everything. He's like, I'm used to it.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
that is
right.
not even, it's just a thud.
Yes.
Nothing comedic about it.
Yep. So yeah, there was a handful of moments where it was, like I said, it was kind of 50-50 on that one. There were some moments that I enjoyed, but then others that just fucking landed like a lead balloon, those ones. But the last one, I think you sort of segued a little bit likes and dislikes, but the chopper versus the tank.
Oh, it's nonsense.
It's funny, but I mean, I just, as soon as I saw it, I was like, come on. I'd forgotten we'd gone there at the end, and I saw it, and I'm like, ooh.
I was hoping that there was some more explanation about why it ended up that way, but it's not. Like I said, the pilot gets shot, but the colonel could just pull up. That's all he has to do.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a bad ending.
But yeah, it's.
I mean, it's what you expect.
Funny as it was
just
enjoyable when it happened. There's still a little bit of
Yeah. You want to.
Then you
The explosions like
the
at the start of Rocky IV when the two gloves go together and explode. It's very reminiscent of that.
It's the classic case of how you direct a scene and you're in this kind of little bubble. Like, he directs it so that the fucking people in the chopper see nothing but what is in front of them.
Yeah.
And so you just don't think in the moment about, oh yeah, they've got all this airspace that they can just go
They've got
to.
the whole world they could fly into.
Except for the one part on the ground where this tank is. But then, as you said, the moment happens and you're like, yeah, cool. And then you think about it, you're like, Oh yeah, that's right. That's how you could do it.
It does try and take you on the ride a little bit though, where you like, Rambo's there and he's looking ahead, and then he gets his hand on the little red knob and pushes it forward, and you hear the tank just sort of fire up. You're like, oh, he's going to ram him.
And I suppose in the moment, I probably should give Peter McDonald a little bit of credit, because that's what a director's supposed to do. He's not, you're not supposed to think about that shit outside of
logic. Yeah.
So
now let me ask this question, because this was right in the period, the Stallone ghost direction period. Do we think he ghost directed Rambo?
He's got his finger on the strings for
sure.
sure.
If it was a second unit guy, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's got to be a yes man that just said, if Sylvester's got
McDonald he's a second unit guy.
Yeah. If he's got suggestions, I'll take them.
What's that, sir? Oh, okay.
Do you think that Mulcahy, apart from picking the wrong fucking people that were too good looking, do you think Mulcahy kind of
had his own integrity?
Well, I'm going to direct it this way.
Yeah, well, I guess you get high, and I think, from what I don't know a lot about the guy, but I have seen the interviews on the Razorback DVD. He seems like a strong personality. I think he is a guy, from what I know, that would say, well, I'm directing the piece, and this is how I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And so Sylvester doesn't like that. Sylvester says, hey.
I think we've heard enough instances where
it sounds like a lovely bloke, Russell, but I've got some notes here, and I think you should take
Sylvester has proven himself to be quite in a few instances, the savvy player when it comes to the box office numbers and things.
Correct, and he is a handy director. He has directed some films.
I mean, when you get into the tete-a-tete, Sylvester pulls out an Oscar.
True.
Come on, we can't go there.
He says, listen, Russell, you've been making fucking shit.
Where's your gold statue, dickhead?
And I've been doing this.
But I think that sounds absolutely plausible, because that's what we've heard about Sylvester his whole career.
Yeah.
The people that direct his movies will take feedback.
Think about it. Around this period, you would have had Rambo 2, Cobra, this, Tango and Cash, all in that probably 6 or 7 year period, and all of them are ghost directed by Stallone.
Yeah, and I mean, poor old George P. Cosmatos' whole career has been sullied by the name Sylvester Stallone.
At least fucking Kurt Russell had the class to wait until he was dead to say, George P. was on set, but he had fuck all to do with it. You know what I mean?
When he's alive, we'll pat him on the back and give you some credit.
Well, I also do like the fact that Russell's thing was, Sylvester rang me up and told me this guy's perfect. You're looking for a patsy. I mean, fuck. You're looking for someone to take the fall for shooting the fucking JFK. Cosmatos is your guy. You know, you're looking for a patsy who just fucking stands around and says, all right, whatever you want.
I am the director.
Correct. And that's, I think this reeks a little bit of that. Because you're saying that you flicked Russell Mulcahy, who has had some credits that were well received and had a certain style. You flicked him and you bring in a second unit guy, and you're telling me that guy directed it? Fuck off.
We picked him because he's got more clout and more style than Russell Mulcahy. Come on.
All right, okay. That's Rambo 3. Now we get to the ranking system here. I think we can all fair to say that First Blood is the top of the pile. Would that be...
Yes.
I don't think we need to sort of, labour that point. There. Yeah, I don't think we need to labour that point too hard. Worst one. We can all... we will not name this picture.
The Mexican monstrosity.
We'll talk it further about this.
Nah, you'll make me angry.
Yeah, no. It's the most recent one. Let's leave it there.
It's terrible. Yeah.
Fucking shit.
We're waiting on Rambo Full Circle, because that's what...
Nope.
That's why we got Rambo.
We need to redeem it.
That's why we got 2008, because Sylvester was dirty on how it ended.
Yeah.
He should be again, so there's still a chance.
So I cannot wait for a fucking 80-year-old Rambo.
We just got it. Samaritan, it's terrible also.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Fourth place.
Fourth place. Okay.
So, who has not been named as last? What's the next one for you?
It's really tight, but I think I've got number 2 in fourth place.
I hear you.
You with me, Addy?
Number 2's fucking garbage.
It's not the best. It's got some iconic scenes.
Watching number 2 again, I remember thinking, why is this so fucking well regarded?
Yeah,
it was crap. Like, it was just...
There's not much in it. Like, between it and 3, like, spoiler alert,
yeah.
I've got 3 and 3 and 2 are very close.
Neck and necking.
But after watching 3 again, I just preferred it.
I punched the air a bit more in 3.
Yeah.
Cosmatos, not as sure a hand as McDonald's. Stallone 86.
Controversy.
Not as sure a hand as Stallone 88.
Controversy.
Speaking of hands, get your fucking hand off it because 3 is the number 4.
I don't know. Look, it's very, very
Look,
hard.
It's very close.
3 is the problem for me is Rambo is just too far removed from First Blood. I mean, we've just forgotten what the fucking series actually started as. And secondly, the main issue for me is the bad guys. Whatever you want to say about Murdoch in Part 2, at least
we knew who he was, I guess.
At least it's a well acted little bit of work. And I think, although it's kind of fairly run of the mill, there was actually something there to kind of rail against a little bit through the picture. And Rambo himself wasn't quipping. He actually still had a little bit of Rambo from Part 1. And I think the action sequences between 2 and 3 reasonably comparable, except for the size of things in certain aspects.
You could have talked me round, but I got to be honest with you. The last time I watched 2, I was
really underwhelmed.
Very underwhelmed.
And like I said, it does have some iconic sequences in it.
Well, I'm tossing another one at you. Like I said before, he says to Troutman, "You're the only one I trust," and he kind of fucking drops a little bit of something in there, which works. And Part 3 doesn't have anything like that. There's a little bit of Troutman and Rambo are all alone.
Maybe I prefer 3 just because it.
Because you're a fucking idiot and you love explosions.
Honestly, I just leave number 1 off to itself.
3 knows what it is.
But
this is ridiculous fucking over-the-top bullshit.
But number 1 is so good as a movie and informs... For me, you got to watch it with that in mind because it's so fucking good. I can't watch number 3 unattached from what was going on in number 1.
Yeah. See, number 2 is so distant from number 1 from me as well.
Well, it is, but it's
I lump 2 and 3 closer together by far than 1 and 2 or 1 and 3.
Maybe it's not.
But this is what I'm saying.
Maybe it's almost like a neck and neck.
They are 2 and 3 are the 2 most closely related in the whole series.
Oh, by far. Yeah.
But number 2, John Rambo in number 2 has a little bit more of what was so good about number 1 that I don't see in number 3.
Yeah, okay.
That's a big thing for me. And also, I think, for what you want to say about Murdoch and the scheme and that, I think it works better than whatever's going on in Part 3.
Don't polo.
I mean, we don't have time for fucking polo in Part 3.
Yeah, I know. True. Look, it's a hard
He
one.
goes slug fishing. Does that count?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Drops his cock out.
No, he catches a bunch of slugs on his chest.
Jesus Christ. That leaves
you just
2008.
Stephen Burkov as a fairly paint-by-numbers villain is far better than the French bloke.
Oh, yeah, true. Burkoff's a little more seasoned. That leaves 2008 Rambo, which I reckon is fucking...
Apparently it's an unpopular opinion, but I really like Rambo.
I think Rambo works out much better than these other ones.
Oh, yeah, it's better than 2 and 3 for me, any day of the week.
And 5.
Yeah.
5 will not be spoken about.
I think 2 is... Yeah.
You think 2's better than 4?
No. I think watching him this time around, I thought 2 was better than 4, but I think watching him this time around, I think 4 was far more effective.
Yeah. It's a much better made movie.
4 is simple,
the
effective.
violence, although the violence
fucking
is
unbelievable.
over the top, it is actually impactful in a lot of moments.
Yeah, it's for a reason. Yeah.
I mean, when you blow a bloke's fucking head off with a
50 cal at point blank. Again, he finds a 50 cal in the back of the ute and goes to town.
But the first sequence where it's ridiculously over the top, where it's on the village, that is fucking horrific.
Yeah.
And it sets this tone of Rambo's actually got a reason to fucking go where he goes in this one because what we've just seen is just shocking.
And we go back to a little bit, not far, but we go back a little bit to the Rambo of Part 1. We find a little bit more of his...
He's way closer than any of the others.
We find a softer side to him.
Yeah.
And the whole thing with Julie Benz.
He's still very jaded, and he hasn't been... He wasn't jaded. I mean, in Part 2...
He had a jade necklace.
In Part 2, he strolls out of prison and isn't as jaded as Part 4.
Yeah.
Remember the part that made me laugh so much, but was like, that is so perfect, is when the guy's like... When he delivers the snake...
Yeah.
Like, we've got enough.
Too many cobras.
Yeah, we've got too many cobras. Can you find this? And Rambo's like, fuck off. Yeah, that's pretty much what you expect.
Yeah.
When you watch part 1, that's where you see the guy. That's the kind of personality he is. And when they're telling him, let's get on the boat, he's like, basically, I'm not fucking getting on. You guys don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And gets swayed, but of course he's correct.
But I love all that stuff about when he has to kill all those blokes or they're going to hurt them on the boat.
Yeah.
And then the boyfriend's fucking up in arms about it, and he basically just tells him,
Who the fuck are you?
But again, this is the thing about part 1 to part 4 is he did it for. He's fucking the tool of somebody else's fucking ideas and schemes again.
Yeah.
That's why I think it works, which I kind of noticed a little more this time around, is that he doesn't want any part of this, but against his better judgment, he gets fucking roped in. And again, he's just he's doing this because of some other person's fucking ill-informed ideas and...
Yes.
And so that feeling of part 1 is coming
kind of back
again.
a little bit.
Yeah.
And Stallone directs well. Like, the action scenes are really good.
He points it directly at everybody that fucking explodes in front of you.
Fucking to smithereens.
Yeah.
But also, why did you have to ghost direct these pictures? Why couldn't you just say, I'll take over?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Well, yeah, exactly. I don't know.
It must have been a SAG thing.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a SAG
I can't
thing.
take too much cash out of the picture. I've got to fucking share it around a little bit.
I'm surprised, but because I thought I was going to take some heat.
No, fuck no.
Rambo as number 2.
No,
I
I agree. I
4 is significantly better than the other. 2 and 3.
I think so, but honestly, you go on the internet.
I think you're a little low on 2 for myself, because I think the gap between 2 and 3 is pretty large, but
I don't.
I don't think so, but look, I could be swayed that 2's better than 3.
Yeah.
I could be swayed.
Yeah,
I could watch 2 again and think to
I think
myself, well, yeah, you're
this
kind of in the ballpark.
This is why, Adam, in the last day and a half, I put myself through the torture of watching the whole fucking series.
Again, you're welcome. I showed to save you from what won't be
I was
spoken
15
about.
minutes into Last Blood
right.
and had already decided, this is absolutely the worst by a fucking long margin.
Mate, it's one of the worst things to happen in cinema in the last 50 years.
Fucking oath.
It's horrific.
Sylvester Stallone should be fucking strung up by his balls for that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll snap off because he's fucking 80.
The first one, I mean, I feel like we need to talk about the first one a little bit because it's so fucking good.
Oh.
But
Sheriff Teasel,
the first
give
one,
the guy a fucking burger and send him on his way.
Yeah, the first one's like a Springsteen song with a few punch ups and a little bit of gunfire. Basically.
Yeah, it's class.
But you know what though? Again, you know this guy is not to be fucking trifled with.
Yeah.
Like the moment you meet him on the road, let him keep fucking clear of this guy.
Drop him on the main street, say, grab yourself a fucking minimum chips and a fucking couple of scallops and fuck off. Problem solved.
Yeah. If I see you again, I'll let you keep going. I'll leave you alone.
Yeah, grab yourself a feed.
The book
and I'll escort
the
you.
book posits this whole thing that Teasel was in the Korean War.
Well,
and he's
the
got
movie,
the shits about the fact that the Vietnam veterans are... The Korean War's almost forgotten.
Yeah.
And in the movie, it's in his office, isn't it?
Yeah.
You see his medals in the office.
But they don't
go
explicitly
there.
point it out.
Yeah.
Right.
Which actually is quite a good idea.
Yes.
But also, again,
Sylvester cut that.
in the book, he killed a lot of people too.
Yeah, correct.
So I think Sylvester made some wise choices, but that would have been good.
Yes. There was a reason why Teasel was such a bastard.
Because it is hard to understand.
Yes.
Like, he's like, you're game walking around with a haircut like that and a flag on your jacket.
It's
the American flag.
Yeah. Especially, I mean, it might just be, some time removed, but I look at him, I'm like, he's just about clean cut.
I know, they want to shave him.
5 o'clock shadow.
They want to shave him later, and I'm like, dude, I fucking rack that out every day.
Yeah.
You fucking pricks to be shaving me down all the time.
Yeah.
But this time around...
It's because he pushes back. I think that's what they're trying to... That's the one thing that doesn't make as much sense, is that Teasel fucking roams up into the woods to catch this one fucking long-haired lout who pretty much, punched a couple of blokes in the police station.
And did a runner.
Yeah.
Cut your losses.
I'm just
There you
saying.
go. Enjoy the frostbite, dickhead.
Yeah.
If you did pull the chopper out, the second a bloke falls from it, and you got to fucking file the paperwork, you'll say,
Teasel goes on.
let's call it off.
Let's just say he didn't come with us. he got lost in the water.
Anyone seen Art Galt? No, not me.
that it's funny because watching it this time around, and I'd noticed it before, but he is so fucking good. The guy that falls out of the plane is so good as the antagonistic arsehole who you get this sense from him that you got nothing else.
Yeah.
This is your little power trip because you are just this is all you got. You're
Classic
a small
man
town.
syndrome.
Yeah,
Yep.
you didn't get the top job in the small town, and this is your lot. So you take it out on people. And watching him for the fucking 20 minutes he's in the movie made it.
He's a classic bully.
Good.
Yeah, it's great.
But
also, they already know that he's fucking special forces.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you be thinking, this guy is going to if he gets loose, we're all in the shit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And even when he tells them up in the bushes, this is where I do my work.
Yeah, could have killed all of them.
Yep. If
Let
I'm
it go.
Teasel, I'm going, fucking pack your shit and get out of here.
Yeah.
Okay, fellas, we put in a hard day's work, claim your overtime, get home to your families.
Maybe get a bandage on your legs.
And you just yell out into the bushes, we would have come after you. It's getting late and dark. Fuck off. But I really love that sequence where he's on the radio with Troutman.
Yeah,
He says, we can't have you running around here threatening innocent civilians. And he's like, there are no innocent civilians.
and the whole reason that...
And I like that. That's the Rambo that you want. This kind of jaded, lost person.
Yeah.
It's very sympathetic.
Yeah.
And the whole reason that you get Troutman spouting lines like he does in 2 and 3 is because of the moment he rocks up and gives it the whole, I don't think you
He
understand.
did things that make a billy goat puke.
Yeah, but he's like, I don't think you understand. I'm not here to save him from you. I'm here to save you from him.
Yeah.
Like, the rest of the series is Troutman is fucking...
Built on that section.
Built on that couple of minutes there.
And, looking at something like John Wick, that's kind of how they play that whole thing too.
The boogeyman
The whole
thing.
boogeyman.
Yep.
They create this idea that, perhaps this guy's not the bloke.
Don't push him around.
Leave him alone, for Christ's sake.
Don't steal his dog.
The whole speech from old mate to Alfie Allen in John Wick 1 is basically that.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. But Brian Dennehy, so good.
Yeah. Dennehy really good. David Caruso.
Other than the fact that you let the man get a sandwich and you would have avoided all these problems.
Yeah.
David Caruso's actually not too bad as well.
Because he kind of plays the sympathetic...
He's the one that's kind of like, we need to ease off this, but Dennehy and... What's his name? Galt.
Galt.
Yeah, Galt. They're all just full steam ahead. They're fucking flat, foot flat to the floor.
This is what I love about...
Caruso's the only one that's saying, hey...
The sequence in the police station is exactly what you said. Galt is your classic bully.
Yeah.
He's just found out that this bloke's fucking special forces. I mean, anyone with half a fucking brain is going... Looking at him...
Yeah, then they see all the stars is like, he's clearly been tortured, maybe we just let go easy.
Just fucking let him go. Because he's going to fucking whip my ass.
Yeah.
But Galt's that whole... I've got him. I've got him. I can keep pushing him.
And you look at
I
him
can
side
hurt
by
him.
side and I'm like, Galt, when's the last time you did a 1K time trial? Because I think Rambo's got you.
Yeah, he's got you, mate. He's got you covered.
Crunches haven't been your friend.
Yeah. You haven't fucking dropped and given me 20 in 140 years.
And this motherfucker's making his clothes out of a fucking rag.
Twine.
Yeah. Brilliant film. Still by far
really
the best one.
So good that we've just gone off a full tangent talking about a movie that was just supposed to be in a list.
Yeah. But it's definitely the top. So, what? We pretty much went First Blood, Rambo,
1, 4, 2, 3,
2, 3,
2, 3, 3, 2.
Changeable. Possible flip, and then 5.
The Abomination.
Fucking hell. Dumpster fire. The dumpster fire that was the last of the films.
I think when you guys walked in, I think I was just about to get to Mexico, so I better finish it off.
Oh no. That's where things get real ugly.
All right, I gotta go.
Alright.
Oh my god.
Alright, well that is Rambo 3, Gibbo. Thanks for coming back, mate.
Oh, mate.
That's the whole series covered. Worth it. And number 3, as I said,
Not the worst.
I got more out of number 3 than I anticipated.
That's the tagline. Not the worst.
Yeah, not the worst one. Sylvester directs with style. That's what it should say. All right, so you can find us on iTunes, Spotify, and Podomatic. Send us an email at thrillme@iinet.net.au. We're on Facebook at Thrill Me Podcast Australia, Podomatic at thrillme.podomatic.com, and Instagram at Thrill Me Podcast AU. Keep an eye on our Facebook page for details of the next film. Gibbo, thanks again, mate. Until then, everyone,
Thanks for the start.
take it easy, and we'll catch up with everyone later. Cheers.
Find the podcast at Podomatic or on iTunes. Don't forget to rate and review. Like us on Facebook at Thrill Me Podcast Australia, or contact us at thrillme, all one word, all lowercase, at iinet.net.au.